to take this time to promote a book called Tales from the Pitch, or a series of books. And I was contacted by Daisy from Ransom Publishers, and they said that they're an independent publisher who specialises in literacy and books for people who don't like or struggle with reading, and they mainly sell to schools, bookshops and prisons. And they published a series of easy-to-read, fictionalised biographies of exciting footballers, and they've called it Tales from the Pitch. Now, because it's mcfcfantv, she sent me 2 copies, and this is one of the editions, which is about Raheem Sterling. So these books, I think, are really important. I obviously believe, I love reading myself, and I think literacy is really important. The age range is between 7 and 14 years of age, but if you are an older person who struggles reading, they're perfect for people with dyslexia and other things that make people struggle to read as well. They're 120 pages long, and the recommended retail price is £6.99. Now, there is Van Dijk, Gnabry, Mbappe, Rashford, Kante and Lewandowski in the series alongside Raheem Sterling. So there are other different books, whether you don't have to be a supporter of Manchester City to read them. You can read the exciting biographies, fictionalised ones about other players as well. But Daisy kindly sent me 2 copies. What we're going to do is I'm going to read one of them, and then we're going to give both of them away and to somebody who deserves it. So please, 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 all the details will be below, and you can get in touch with Ransom Publishers and order your copy online. So we wanted to do something that would assist them in pushing and promoting this book. Anyway, hope you enjoy it, and we'll let you know more about when these brilliant ideas for books and for reading become available as a prize. But anyway, Sandy from mcfcfantv, take care, and we're over to the vlog. Hi guys, it's Andy from mcfcfantv. How is everyone tonight? Hope you're well after last night's victory. Good performance. What we're going to do tonight is going to do a quick player ratings and speak about each and individual player, how they played. Yeah, it was a great performance. I said that on the preview on Monday night. I thought City had battered them. It's exactly what happened. Total domination. I think they had one shot that Ederson, I don't know what he was doing, but yeah, he went onto the post. Other than that, I mean, I think they set up really poorly. If I expected a little bit more, but you can only beat what's in front of you, and City totally dominated the game. So it was great to see the team moving the ball quicker, at pace. You heard Pep in the background, which was great watching it for a change on BT Sport with no crowd noise, and you could hear him going rapido, rapido, and rapido, and he was just wanted them to move the ball quickly, which was exactly what they did. But I think that was down to his team selection as well, and I think that with the likes of Foden and Torres in there, it gave us that a little bit more energy, and the defence, I thought, looked solid, even though they didn't have to do a great deal, to be fair. But what they had to do, Diaz and Laporte in particular, as well as Walker, and I thought Zinchenko did okay, just almost like foot perfect. So let's see who's on tonight. We've got Sean. Hi, how are you, mate? Have you finished that book yet? If so, let us know how it was. Dupe's on. Hi, how are you, buddy? Addy's on. My body is ready, guys. Queen versus King. When Gabby back playing? It's going to be another few weeks yet, unfortunately. Queen versus King maybe in a month. Yeah, I think it's going to be at least 2 or 3 weeks. Zagon's on. Hello, how are you, mate? Hope you're well. Animal Lifestyle. Hello, hi. Might have some news for you maybe in about 10 days' time with regards to that particular dog. That's my favourite picture of those who come on mcfcfantv. I love that dog. Yeah, I might be showing you a little certain somebody in about 10 days' time. Carl's on. How are you, buddy? High City looked very good. Yeah, they look. I mean, they look better. Still, there were times in that second half, I think, in particular, where passing, certainly in the first 15, 20 minutes, second half, passing was a little bit off. But the energy levels, the speed of passing was definitely, significantly better than what we've seen so far this season. Hope City can keep the same performance, says Dupe. Well, I think it all comes down to. I've said that in previous vlogs, or when I've been commenting on Martin's vlogs and things. You've got to remember that City. A lot of the City players have been, non-stop for 18 months on international duty, and then obviously after COVID we came back, and then they were playing loads of games, and then they've been on Nations League, and some of these players have not had a real proper break away. Even during COVID, a lot of them were at home, keeping fit. It was only really you saw some of the players going away on holiday for a week after COVID, the COVID resummation of the season. So they've not had a lot of break, a lot of time on a break, and then we've obviously had we've had COVID, and we had 4 or 5 players with COVID. Then we've had the injuries, so I just think, and Pep's said this time and time again, there's just been no pre-season. There's been nothing, and I think it's these first 5 Premier League games in particular have been us getting into our rhythm with a really unbalanced team and not all the full squad back. And I think last night, even though it was against Marseille, let's forget. I mean, they're not the greatest side in the world, even though I think they were 4th in the Liga. You just saw that zip, that real zip and energy, which was great to see. And I think even if we're, not taking our chances, that energy levels will create even more. And we saw that last night in particular. Barcelona 1-up, are they? I've not been following. I've just finished dinner. Shazib Ali, how are you, mate? I hope we can be consistent every week. Consistency is really important, mate. It really, really is important for any team. It's extremely important. But if we can get to somewhere like that energy level of last night, I think we'll be fine. We'll be absolutely fine. No person's on. Hi, Andy, mate. How you doing? I'm good, buddy. Dupe says, I don't even know why they call it an international break. Who's having a break? Nobody's having a break. We know that anyway, don't we, mate? Because let's face it, when you've got a team like Man City, even though you've got players out injured for months, weeks on end, most of the players play international football. So, they finish one game, 3rd game in 7-8 days. Then they're flying off and go and join in training for the England squad or the Algerian squad or the French squad or whoever, Portuguese squad, and then they're playing games. So it's really, it is hard, and I know it's the same for a lot of teams, but I think City in particular, with all of the cup competitions as well that we were playing in towards the end of the season, last season as well, plus catching up in COVID times and things, and it's been difficult. Tom Betts, hi Andy, how are you, mate? Hope you're well. Noah says, I think you will do a job on the league this season and win it. Well, I'm still confident. I mean, I'll always back my team. I'll always back this City team in particular. I think, and don't forget, I think if we were to win our game in hand, we're only a few points off the top. So even though the table, normally people say the table doesn't lie, it does when you've got a game in hand, and everything is so tight. I think it's about 10 points separate top and near the bottom. So it's early days. It really is early days. There's so many games left to go, and so many other competitions left to go. And when we get the likes of Gabby and Sergio back, and whoever we might buy in January as well, don't be surprised between now and Christmas if you see City go on a real good extended run. I know we've got some tough games coming up, but don't be surprised. Really don't be surprised. Pep looked very happy last night after last night's performance, and he's always said it all along. We're just in this flux at the moment. We haven't got the players that are fit enough yet. In previous weeks, he said, and we've got loads of injuries, and so players coming back, like Gundogan and Mahrez and others coming back from COVID. So, I think it'd be absolutely fine. I really wouldn't worry about it. Excuse me. Brendan Ayre says, do you think the players know if Pep is going or staying? I'd be very surprised if they do, because I think with anything, as what happens at every club, if they know, it always leaks out. Something leaks out. And at the moment, there's nothing. Except for a couple of statements by, I think, Omar Berardi and a couple of others have said, we are very confident Pep will sign a contract, but he hasn't yet. Vinny Reid, how are you, Vinny? Evening still high on the win last night. Didn't realise you were on tonight. The highlight of my day as per. Cheers, buddy. Hope you're well. I'm glad you enjoyed it last night, mate. It's good to get back to a proper performance. You know, one where you can go, this is more like it. This is more like the Manchester City of old. Chris Baker's on. How are you, mate? I don't want to be horrible to Riyadh, but last night we saw the real Pep City, and that's pressing from the front. High energy, and Raz looked better on the right wing. Can't afford to have passengers. Totally agree with you, mate. Absolutely. And it don't matter whether it's Riyadh or it's anyone else. That press is so important. That energy, that, moving the ball quickly, that, closing down. I mean, even when Cole Palmer came on, you could hear Pep screaming at him. Even though it wasn't like he wasn't closing down. He was just running, trying to, impress. But Pep was going, get at him, push on him and get on him. And when he did take Pep's advice and he moved wide and he went pressing that player, they passed it inside and lost the ball immediately. And it was almost like vindication of what Pep was saying. Come on, you've got to keep pressing this. You've got to cut that space down. And he did it. And it wasn't through a tackle, but they played the ball inside and they lost possession because of the pressure from inside. So that energy level, Chris, is what we've missed. And we've seen when we play at that energy level and tempo, not many teams can live with us. And what it does, as I've always said, you hit that 60, 65-minute mark as an opposition team when City have kept possession and moving the ball so quickly. They run them into the ground. They get tired. They get really tired. And we saw that last night. We really did. Animal Lifestyle says, hope to see more consistency. We will dominate one game, then get battered the next. What's your thoughts on Foden and Torres playing together and Laporte Diaz partnership at the back? Yes, very good. I think we all know. I don't even think you have to be a City fan, mate, if you to know that you want Diaz and Laporte to be the centre-back pairing, and I think it will be the pairing once Laporte's back up to speed, because remember, he's only just coming back from a slight injury as well. Foden and Diaz look great. Not quite sure whether Diaz is a centre-forward, false nine. I'll be honest with you, I'd much see him on the left. But then Phil Foden, this is the problem. Phil Foden played on that left-hand side and did brilliantly last night. So I do think when you've got Gabby and Aguero coming back, you might see it's going to be Foden Torres, or Foden Torres for that left-hand berth, which means one of them is going to either have to drop to the bench or fill in the midfield. But I do think we won't see Gundogan as much in the Premier League once we either Gabby or Sergio back, and I think Phil will take that position. And that's not decrying Gundogan, because I thought he had a good game last night. So, yeah, very interesting. Noah Pearson, Liverpool fans are disgusting. Pickford and his family have been receiving death threats from Liverpool fans about that. Yeah, I posted that this morning on Twitter. It's just horrendous. It really, really is. Chris Baker, not all Liverpool fans are disgusting, but some are cults, massive cults. I see what you did there, Chris. Yeah, it's not all Liverpool fans, but it does make you wonder, doesn't it? You remember the Gerrard to Chelsea, if you're old enough, remember the Gerrard to Chelsea, and he got death threats and everything else, which rumours were led to him staying at Liverpool and not moving to Chelsea. And then you had the Karius thing, and then now all of a sudden Pickford's getting it, and you just think, come on, guys, Jesus Christ, grow up. Tom Bet, Segundo playing higher up looked very good. Yeah, I agree with that. How are you doing today, Chris, mate? Jamie Short's on. How are you, mate? Hope you're well. Shazabe says, let's hope we beat Sheffield. I'm confident, believing Pep and the team. Good. I like that positivity, mate. You know me. I'm all positive, positive, positive. Don't like the doom and gloom. Not doom and gloom, Martin and Chris. I mean, I don't like the doom and gloomers, especially when there's not really that much to moan about. Hey, Chris Baker says today it finally sunk in that El Majo was gone. Been on a downer since this afternoon. No, yeah, I know. Peter Curry says, I read that Deep Mohammed thinks Pep should be sacked. I know. I heard his interview on Talk Sport this morning. I just thought, God, what a whopper. What an absolute whopper. Get back to drinking and crashing your car, you absolute melon. Yeah, unbelievable. Hope you feel better soon, Chris. Blue Hearts on. Hello, Andy and everyone. How are you, buddy? Hope you're well. Cheers, Noah. I will man up. Yeah, time to man up. What's wrong with him? Carl Blundell, hi. Look, I will say I wasn't a massive Foden. I think, fan. Thought he needed to prove more, but he is excellent, an absolute world-class player. Sorry, mate, I had to sort of try and work that one out. Yeah, well, maybe you were in Martin's camp who said, during the summer that Foden should go on loan. And I just said, don't be ridiculous. And I said to everybody who talked about Foden, saying, look, Pep knows what he's doing with Foden. Oh, well, other players have played 18. Just leave Pep. Pep knows his progression. He'll ease him in gently. And look what's happened to him now. You heard on BT Sport last night, Hargreaves and Gareth Barry and Rio Ferdinand, absolutely. And Jermaine Jenas, I mean, that touch by Foden. I tweeted it out again this morning from BT Sport. The ball over the top when he brought it down on his left peg on the volley and passed it back. I mean, they were raving about him. He's a wonderful player. He's still young and he'll still make mistakes and he'll still cock up and he might get sent off for a rash tackle or something like that. But what a player we have and what a player England have for the future. Ooh, big jump there. Did I miss something there? Yeah, man up, lad. There you go. Man up, Chris. Tom Betts, as much as I would like to see Foden over Gundo, it won't happen. He obviously has some copy. No, don't be daft, mate. Gundogan's a good player. Doesn't always work with Rodri, but Gundogan is a class player. He's not the quickest, not the youngest anymore, but he's still a class player. And last night proved it. He played very well last night. Some people say women up. Foden is class. He's a very good player. Still no James Rodriguez, though. I was waiting for something like that. Phil is son of City, like all true City fans it was. And he is on there. Right. Let's have a look. So, last night, Marseille versus City. Obviously, it's 3-0. Possession-wise, 36% for Marseille, 64% for City. Marseille had 2 shots. City had 8 shots. They had 2 on target. Don't remember the second one. Oh, yeah, dude, the one that went into his arms, yeah. The shots on target for City were 4. 1 corner to City's 5. They fouled 5 times. We fouled 10, which didn't really tell the tale of some of their horrendous tackling last night. And what we're going to do is going to go through the player ratings one by one. But before I do, one thing I do want to say, and I haven't seen the game back today. I've been busy. My phone's broke. It's been a nightmare with my business calls and everything. So I've been trying to sort my bloody iPhone out. So I've ended up having to buy myself out of my final year. Not buy myself out, but pay off my final year of my contract so I can order a brand new phone, iPhone 12. So I can have a phone tomorrow. Cost me nearly 400 quid. So I'm not happy bunny at the moment. So I haven't had much chance today. I've been that busy to watch the replays back, and I forgot to record it last night. But I said to the guys, Martin and Chris, I thought that tackle on Kevin De Bruyne when he stood on his foot, I thought it was a red card. I saw it back on the replay, and it's 2 feet off the air, 2 feet onto his foot. Could have broke his metatarsal, could have broke his toes or anything. And De Bruyne looked in really, a lot of pain. So for me, that was a red card. Thought the referee was a bit in and out during the game. And what does VAR do in Europe? You don't hear it doing anything in Europe. You don't see it doing anything. Rarely. But anyway, before we go in to the player ratings, Vinny Reed said, yeah, the Gerrard threats were out of order. He's a nice guy, just a bit slippy. Addy says, when Gundo lined up for that free kick, you just knew you were going to see something special. Cal says, I guess when I'm older and have a family, people will talk of Messi and Ronaldo. I will speak of David Silva. He's lighting the Liga up. It's actually beautiful to watch. It's an honour. I know, mate. I just wish he was still here, but he isn't. Yeah, certainly, people of your generation. Well, I'm sure Ronaldo and Messi are still in your generation, mate. Even though you would have been very young when they were probably at their absolute peak. David Silva, what a joy! He's a god, absolute god. How do you think we'll do Liverpool and Spurs? It's going to be tough, Sean. It's going to be tough games, but we'll see. We'll see what players we get back for those two games. Tom Betts, I wonder if Stones had been held back from a couple of months to prove his fitness like Mendy. Then he got games. We'll be surprised if Stones gets more game time now. You would be or you wouldn't be. Would be surprised. Don't know, mate. Stones is a strange one. We've spoke about it so much on this channel. A weird one. Don't really think any of our lads had a bad game last night. No, neither do I. Evening, Andy and everyone. How are you, Leonard? Stones shouldn't be at the club, says Stephen Dempster. It was a good... Yeah, Chris Baker said to me last night over that one, he went, I thought it was a good tackle. I can't remember what he said because I haven't got my phone with me anymore. But I think he said, I thought that was a good tackle. He loves a good tackle, does Chris Baker. But I thought it was a red card. Walker is overlooked. Gundo man of the match. Thought Gundo played well last night. Stop bringing up David. We'll keep doing it and upsetting you, mate. Foden and Torres bring the energy City needs. Yeah, we said that earlier, Leonard. I hate Man U, but Rashford is a legend. What he's done is phenomenal. Absolutely shamed this government. It really has. One of their player rates stood down. Yeah, and that one as well. The tackle on the sideline was a really nasty tackle. I mean, again, those are the type of tackles that could quite easily, damage the Achilles tendon and be out for a season. So I don't know. I always found in Europe it was always very much you had to be really careful on the ball, red cards, yellow card. What I've seen so far, it's like nothing. They hardly give anything out. I thought it was amazing, some of the decisions last night. But let's move on. Should wear proper boots, says Crispy. Bobber boots. Andy, do you think Pep might play Foden on the left, Sterling on the right, and bin off Mahrez? That is a distinct possibility. And if you gave me the choice, I'll be honest with you, if you gave me the choice of Mahrez or Foden right now, I'd have Foden every single day of the week and on Sundays. So, Mahrez for me is just not doing it for City. Wonderful pass last night for Kevin De Bruyne, don't get me wrong. But I did post to the boys, there you go, first touch, gave the ball away. And that's what he's been doing all season, giving the ball away, not chasing down, doing the same old passing inside. He is a wonderfully, wonderfully technically gifted player. But he just doesn't do enough for City. He does not do enough work-wise or consistently does it. I agree, Chris Baker, the boots nowadays are crap. Do you think those tackles were UEFA designed? I do, says Blue Heart. Ooh, interesting. Were they UEFA designed? Yeah, probably. They'll do everything to get City out of this, won't they? But anyway, let's get on to the player ratings. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up each particular player, give you a minute to give your scores, and then what we'll do is I'll also read what Simon Buczelski of the MEN gives for each player. So first player up tonight is Ederson. So give us your scores for Ederson last night, even though didn't have a great deal to do, if I'm being honest. But normally, just to let you know, if you're new to the channel, we normally say an average is a 6. Didn't do anything wrong, didn't do anything great. It's an average score. That's how we score it. But we give the overall average, what we can guess is an average score from the viewers on the channel. We don't give our scores as the as the overall one. We give it yours. Leonard says 6.5. Jamie says 7. Animal Lifestyle says 7. Theo Tran gives him a 10. 6.5, not much to do, says Peter Curry. Stephen Dempster says 7. Chris Baker, 6.5, had very little to do. Good distribution as usual. Sean gives him an 8. Martin gives him a 7. Scott Williams gives him a 6.5. Blue Art Steady Eddie gets a 6 then from me. Edison 7, had nothing to do really, but made some good passes when can we swap Pickford for him? In your dreams, buddy. Edison 6.10 from Neil Hanstock. Should have bought a good book. Yeah, Dudley Lewis gives him a 6.5. Simon Buczelski in the Manchester Evening News says, a night where he didn't have to do very much. He showed good awareness to come out for his goal and prevent Thovan from running through at him, but was almost caught out by a long ranger in the second half, and he gave him a 6. So I'm gonna go for you guys. Looking at here, we've got 10s and 8s and things. I'm gonna go for an average score that you're coming up with. I'm gonna be a little bit generous. I would have given him a 6, but because I don't think he had anything to do. But according to your scores, I'm gonna give Edison an average of a 7, which moves us on to a player who I thought last season was phenomenal, and so far this season has been brilliant. And that is Kyle Walker. What are your thoughts on Kyle Walker? For me, I don't care who it is. Best right back in world football for me right now. You can keep your Trent Alexander-Arnold. Walker for me, what a beast. So fast. And he's really intelligent with the way he covers the gaps, and it moves into a 3 at the back with Laporte and Diaz. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant for me, Walker. Leonard London, he gives him a 9. Animal Lifestyle an 8.5. Peter Curry gives him an 8. Chris Baker 8 in great form. Jamie Short gives him a 9. Theo Tran gives him a 9 as well. Dudley Lewis an 8.5. Walker an 8.5 from Stephen Dempster. Sean gives him an 8.5. Martin Chadwick says 8, class Andy. He's brilliant at the moment. 8 on top of his game at the moment, says Scott Williams. Beat, the Roadrunner gets 8 from me. Best defensive right back, 8, says La Ciel Bleu. Let's see what Simon Buczelski says. He says out for the count at West Ham and then straight back on his feet for another 90 minutes. Walker went forward well, covered excellently at the back, using his pace and organised the defence. What he does every week, basically. So he gave him an 8. Neil says 8.5, great performance. Just when Marseille thought they were in, the Roadrunner took it away. Beep. He's phenomenal. He is absolutely, his pace is incredible. And he doesn't look to be losing it. He's knocking on a little bit now. Doesn't look to be losing any of that pace whatsoever. His recovery pace is phenomenal. It really, really is. AWB is the best defensive right back in the EPL. Yeah, I know. Wash your mouth out. Right, I'm going to give Walker on average here. I'm going to, most of you 8s and 8.5s and 9s and things. So I'm going to go generous. I think I would have given him an 8.5 personally. I thought he was superb last night. But so I maybe swung a 0.5 on top of what I should have done there. But hey, it is what it is. I get that little bit of leeway. Right, what about somebody who came in last night and played as our left back, and I thought was pretty solid last night, and that was Alexander Zinchenko. Walker is no good at musical chairs, though. Chris Walker is the best all-round right back, though. He is the best. He is the best all-round. So what do we think of Zinchenko last night? Sean gives him a 7.5. Leonard gives him a 7.5. Chris gives him a 7. La Ciel Bleu, 7. Sean gives him a 7.5 again, so that's 15 he's got off Sean. Scott Williams gives him a 7. Peter Curry a 7.5. Animal Lifestyle gives him a 7. Cal gives him an 8. Dudley Lewis a 7.5. Zinchenko from Stephen Dempster is a 7. Jamie Short gives... sorry, that was a big jump then. I meant Jamie Short gives him a 7. Theo... keeps jumping again. Neil gives him a 7. We wish we had a striker on that great cross. It was a great cross. Theo Tran gives him a 7. There you go. Got it in eventually. Martin Chadwick gives him a 7. Theo says, best game in a City shirt so far. Yeah, here we go. Cal. Zinchenko did well. Martin won't like these ratings. He won't. Blue Art says, for his first game back, not bad at all. 7, because I like the lad's commitment to the club. There you go. So, what did Simon Buczelski say? He said, some bright spells on his first start in nearly 6 months. He linked up well with Foden down the left, and is also at ease moving inside when he goes forward, and gave him a 7. So I'm going to go with you guys, most of you. I'm going to give him a 7. I don't think he did anything wrong in particular. There was that volley, which was probably more of the one that went from the corner that looked like it was going towards the corner flag. But apart from that, I thought he was very good. Martin will give Mahrez an 11 for that pass alone, agenda driven. Right, let's move on to our main big man, big new signing, Reuben Diaz. What were your thoughts on Reuben Diaz last night? I thought against West Ham in the first half, I thought he was a little bit sloppy. I thought second half he was brilliant. But last night, even though he didn't have much to do, everything he did was just so assured. So assured. And I think when Laporte gets up to speed again after this injury, I think what a partnership. If they can both stay fit, what a partnership that is. And remember, we still got Ake to come back as well. I think it's a great signing. Animal Lifestyle, 8.5. Didn't do anything wrong and a clean sheet. Leonard London, 8.5. Sean Fogarty, a 9. Calblundell, 7. Oh, sorry, a big jump. That's why it jumped there. Sorry, Jamie Short, 9. Future captain. Laciel Blur, 8.5. Peter Curry, an 8. Chris Baker, 8.5. Very good. Concentration levels, great. Stephen Dempster, 7.5. Martin Chadwick, 9. Love him. Neil says, Diaz, 8. Calmness personified. Dudley Lewis gives him an 8.5. Scott Williams, 8.5. Great to have a presence on corners. Still bedding in a lot more to come from the fella. I agree with that. What signing he could be, a future giant for his age. 8 for me. There you go. So that's lots of positives there. I mean, I think from what we've seen so far, he's probably the closest we've seen at City over the last, let's say, 5, 6 years. That could be somebody who could get close to where Vinny Company was, in my opinion. But it is early days. But he does, and he's young. He looks a real talent. Leonard says, I think City are looking good with Ake in that left-back position. Potentially, yeah, could easily be. He's only an 8. Wow. He is good. So Diaz, what did Simon Buczelski says, the former Benfica man continues his fine start to life at City on his 6th consecutive start. He was rarely troubled and is growing into the team, and he gave him an 8. And I think looking at it here, I'm going to have to go a 0.5 above that, according to you lot. There you go. Reuben Diaz gets an 8.5 from you lot. So can only be more to come from him, hopefully. So on to his partner last night, coming back after that injury. I put it's Aymeric Laporte, and I thought he did okay last night. A couple of really good covering tackles, and looks a little bit, I don't know, maybe a little bit rusty and things like that. But overall, that was a perfect game for him last night to come back with Diaz and Walker and Zinchenko against the Marseille team that didn't really do a great deal. So it was great to get however many minutes it was in his legs. I think it was 77 minutes he got in his legs. So that was a perfect game for him to come back last night. So it can only bode well for the future. Andy, what do you think about Garcia playing before Stones? Well, we'll do that later, mate. We're just doing the play ratings at the moment, mate. I don't want to get sidetracked into other stuff, but repost it in case I forget. Leonard London 8.5, Chris Baker 7.5, Scott Williams said 8, solid. Animal Lifestyle says 7.5, didn't have a lot to do. James Shaw 8.5, solid. I am Eric 8, very good. Blue Heart Emerick, solid as always, an 8. Steve Dempster 7.5. Sean Fox gives him a 9. Wow. Laporte 7, did quite well, but needs more games. He will need more. He will need more games. There's no doubting about it. Peter Curry an 8. Dudley Lewis an 8. Ooh, they're all good scores tonight, guys. I love this happy blues for a change on here. So some great scores coming in. I'm going to give him overall, on the average there from you guys, I'm going to give him an 8. For Aymeric Laporte, I probably would have given him a 7, if I'm being honest. But sure scores, so he gets an 8. So well done, Aymeric. And like I said, perfect game for him to come back to last night. So we've done Edison, we've done Walker, we've done Zinchenko, we've done Diaz, we've done Laporte. Let's move on to our big fella in CDM, and that is Rodrigo. What were your thoughts on Rodri last night? I thought he had a very good game. Personally, I know there are some people who don't like Rodri, but I thought he had a very good game last night. Some of his ball control and his touch and everything else, his passing was excellent, but it's your scores, not mine. So, Rodri, good scores because they played with authority. Yeah, it is. Yeah, of course, absolutely. Leonard, missed that one. Leonard gives Rodri an 8. Sean gives him a 7. Keeps jumping every time I go to click you up. Jamie gives him an 8. Mark the Blue, Laporte, Diaz are the way forward, Andy. They are. Absolutely agree with you, Mark. Team played good. That's why ratings are high. Yeah, I agree. Another jump. Animal Lifestyle, a 7. Scott Williams, 7.5. Did it again. Lassie Blue, an 8.5. Here we go. Here's obviously one of the haters of Rodri, a 5.5. Oh, my Lord. I do give up sometimes. Blue Heart, Rodders, very good, an 8. Chris Baker, 6.5. Did okay. Maybe a bit harsh. Okay, 7. Peter Curry, 8.5. Rodri, a 7.5. Dudley Lewis, an 8. What does Simon Buczelski say? Received criticism for slowing the team down at West Ham, but was very efficient at winning the ball back and recycling possession here. A confidence night's work and gave him a 7. Theo gives him a 7.5. Vinny Reid, 8 all day. I can't seem to grasp the negative comments about Rodri. What are all these mistakes we're supposed to be seeing? I'm with you, Vinny. I am with you. Leonard, 5.5. Oh, come on. I know. I did say there are the haters out there that, doesn't matter if they have a good game, they'll still mark them very, very low. But it is what it is. But I'm going to be Rodri. I think looking at it, 7.8. I'm going to give him a 7.5. There you go. I probably would have given him a 7.5 myself, but looking at the average on there, it's around about there. So, let's move on to Silky. Let's move on to Gundogan. What were your thoughts on Gundogan? Probably same sort of comments as said before about Rodri. Chris says, to be fair, he doesn't make many mistakes. He's just a bit sideways with his passing. I didn't think last night he was, but I do agree with you. Sometimes in the Premier League, when there's a lot of pressing in midfield, he can do a lot of sideways passes, but I guess that's what Pep wants him to do, retain the ball, and that's the problem sometimes. But I thought he played a lot of great balls forward last night, but everyone's opinion. Gundogan then. Laciel Bleu says a 7. Leonard, 9.5, man of the match. Animal Lifestyle, an 8. Gundogan, 7.5. Gundo, 7.5, well taken goal. 8.5, better in Europe, in my opinion. I agree with you, Jamie Shaw. I've always said that. I think he's a typical Champions League style player. I think sometimes the hustle and bustle of the Premier League, because he's not overly quick. I think, especially playing with Rodri, who isn't overly quick either, even though he's quicker than Gundogan, it slows us down a little bit. Dudley Lewis, an 8. Chris Baker, 7.5, much better in Europe as usual. Peter Curry, an 8. Blue Heart Gundo was good as well and took his goal well, got to be an 8. Leonard, his movement in Champions League, very intelligent. I agree with you. Mark the Blue gives him a 7. 8, Europe is his natural competition. I can't argue with any of that. I do think he's a really good player for us when we play in the Champions League. He's naturally very, very good on the ball. And to be fair, in Europe, we tend to get a little bit longer on the ball than you do in the Premier League, which I think suits him. And I think in Europe, Pep seems to play, not always, but a lot of the time, he plays with Gundogan a bit more forward than Rodri. Where in the Premier League, they seem to be a little bit too much side by side. And you just think, is that necessary? Taking up a big space. But I think in Europe, it's perfect there. Hi, Mingy Wonk, how are you? Leonard says, Chris, you read my mind. There you go. So, Gundogan, what does Simon Buczelski say? If I can get it up. Here he comes. A performance brimming with far more attacking intent than usual. He was constantly ahead of Rodri, and the balance of the team felt better for it. A different player in the Champions League. So, yeah, he's repeating everything that you guys are saying. For me, looking at the average scores, Gundogan gets an 8. Thought he had a very good game last night. Very, very good. So we've done Rodri and Gundogan. Let's look at their playing midfielder with them, and that was KDB. What are your thoughts on Kevin De Bruyne's performance last night? I mean, it goes without saying, his passing is just off the scale. It really, really is. His passing is absolutely phenomenal. Really incredible. I mean, that pass for Torres' goal, it wasn't even a cross. He caressed it, and it was almost like he took pace. It's like his foot clipped back, and if you've ever played football, sometimes you do that. You go to hit a ball first time, but you just pull your foot back slightly, and it just takes it. Sort of almost like stuns the ball to take what would be the natural pace off it. And that pass, wow! I mean, people might look at it and think it was simple. It wasn't. It was timed to absolute perfection, not only directionally but the pace on it, and just it was a wonderful pass, absolutely incredible. Leonard says 8.5. Mingy Wong gives him an 8. Laciel Blur gives him an 8.5. Stephen gives KDB a 9. 8.5 for Sean. Peter Curry gives him an 8.5. Theo Tran gives him an 8.5 as well. So does the Animal Lifestyle with 2 assists. Neil Hankstock says, Kev, 8.5, great assists. Chris Baker says, 9, pure sexy ginger prince. That's the Albert. He's not 100%. No, and I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. I think he's still coming back to some sort of fitness. But I mean, even the run for the pass that Mahrez played to him. I mean, he looked up. He was sort of 8, 9, 10 yards, and he just shoved on the afterburners, and that was late in the second half. So he's not far off, but I agree. I don't think he's quite there yet. 8.5 standard, 2 assists from Kevin. Blue Heart, Kevin targeted, and because of that, I give the master passer an 8.5. He was definitely targeted last night, no doubt about it. He was a bit rusty. Hope he can stay fit. 8, still not his best yet, in my opinion, which is frightening. Chris Baker says, I genuinely love him. Well, all right then. David Silva or Kevin De Bruyne, Chris? KDB, when plays very good, gets 8.5. When brilliant man of the match, is that kind of play you expect every match. When average, an 8. Yeah, he has had. He has had. I mean, I must admit, I think I've given him a 6 in the past for a couple of games. But that's just an average score. Not great, not poor, but that is rare. I mean, he's always at least a 7, 7.5. Chris Baker is the Ginger King. Stop it. Says Chris. He loves that pressing game in midfield. He does. Would you snog him, Chris? David Silver any day. Oh, no, for me, Mark the Blue, it's always David Silver. But Chris has just been going on before. You might have missed it because you came on a bit late. He was going on about how he's missing David Silver, watching him in La Liga. And said he loves him. And then he's obviously said about Kevin De Bruyne. So I said, well, which one is it? Yeah, Blue Heart. There you go. He'd snog him. So KDB, what did Buczelski give him? Pulling the strings even before kick-off and showed exactly what City have been missing in recent matches with key passes to create attacking opportunities. 2 assists, gets an 8. And I'll go with you guys, and I'll probably go with Simon Buczelski on this one and give him an 8. I thought he was great. I mean, 2 assists normally get an extra 2 points, so I probably would have given him a 9, but there you go. Chris can pull his pants down. Don't know what that's about. David Silva, City's legend. Absolutely. Of course he is. So Kevin De Bruyne gets an 8 so far. So moving on. We've done De Bruyne, we've done Gundogan, we've done Rodri. Let's move on to, let's say, the front three, if you want to, and we'll move over to somebody who played on the right-hand side this time last night, and that was Raheem Sterling. So what were your thoughts on Raz last night? Got his goal, got an assist. Actually, I don't know how he got to that header, but he did. So you'd have to look at their defending, thinking if Raheem Sterling can win a header in the box from a cross, you know, you're not defending very well. But he got in front of his man and got the header in for Gundogan, so he got a goal and an assist. So Raz, I'm sure a lot of us, like we've all said, he is better. He is better, even though I keep saying, look, he scored 31 goals and 10 assists, playing on the left mostly last season. But we know he naturally is better on the right. We just need somebody to step up on that left side, and we saw a great performance from Foden last night. So Sean Fogarty gives Sterling a 7.5. Lassiel Blur an 8.5. Sterling 7.5 from Stephen. Chris, 8 should always be on the right wing. Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be a debate. 8, his work rate is incredible. He's got phenomenal stamina. He really has. Jamie Short an 8. 7.5 Peter Curry. And maybe that's why we saw against West Ham. Maybe he's just hit that peak and he'd gone over that dip, that curve. And he wasn't great against West Ham. He really wasn't. He looked tired. Yeah, last night, like Pep says, the guy can play every 24 hours. He's that fit and that, you know, his resilience is incredible. And I think last night, it was almost like he looked at West Ham game and thought, yeah, I wasn't great. I probably lost us the game with those misses. I'm going to turn it on. And I thought he did last night. I thought he was phenomenal. Really, really good. Mingy Wong gives him a 7. Samuel Gringo, Marseille, a very weak team. You can't judge Man City's level. Yeah, of course you can't, mate. Blue Heart Sterling always brings energy and involvement, 8.5. Scott Williams, 7.5. Needs a rest, but can't see him getting any break in the foreseeable future. Ain't going to happen, we know that. 8, got a goal and assist, but I feel he's not a good finisher. Well, this is my point, isn't it? 31 goals and 10 assists. If he's not a good finisher and he gets 31 goals and 10 assists, imagine if he was a good finisher. Raz, 7 out of 10, good, but looks a bit rusty on the right. Really? Thought he looked a lot better. Keep him on the wing, 7.5 says Mark the Blue. Yeah, I think we know it's his natural position, but he sometimes has to fit in where Pep plays him within a system, and that's what he's good at. So let's see. I think overall we're going to give Sterling, even though he got a goal and assist, this is your scores, not mine. I would have given him an 8, but I think overall Sterling gets a 7.5 from you guys. He's 21 goals away from becoming the highest scoring Premier League winger. There you go. Good fact, if that's true. Raz the Raptor will hunt him down, he will. So that's Raheem. What about our new number 21? And that was Ferran Torres. Sorry, I forgot to say what Simon Buczelski said. He said he looked liberated on the right wing with the opportunity to run down the wing as well as cutting into the box. He captained the team recently and could be heard giving instructions to his teammate. He gave him a 7. So we gave him a 7.5 from your scores. I would probably give him an 8, but goal and an assist, that's an extra couple of points for me from a 6. So, but he gets a 7.5 from you guys. So what about Ferran Torres? How do you think Torres played last night? He played that sort of central false 9 role. Got his goal as well. I'm not sure he did a great deal other than that, I'll be honest with you. He couple of good things, but listen, he's playing out of position. Got a goal. You can't ask for more than that. Leonard gave him an 8. Torres an 8. This is the thing, you see, like people are giving Sterling a 7.5. He got a goal and an assist and was far more involved in the game than Torres was. Yet he gets a 7.5 and people give him an 8 and 8.5. So, I guess we all see games differently. 8, got a goal and looking promising. He is looking promising. Scored 7.5. Sean Fogarty 7.5. Mingy Wong gives him an 8. Jamie Short gives him an 8. Peter Curry gives him a 7.5. 8, did well out of position, deserves more game time. I agree with that. 7.5, we don't need to put too much pressure on his shoulders, but looks exciting. I agree with that also. 8, he's looking settled, give him time. Yeah. Torres getting better bit by bit and a nice goal too. 7.6. Got to be different, haven't you, Blue Out? Come on. Ferrer, 7.5. Well taken, composed finish, but I would like to see him play this position more so he can improve. Yeah, maybe, Neil, you've got a point there. 7.5. No, I'm only kidding. Maybe you got a point there. Maybe until Sergio or Gabby comes back. Maybe that's a position he might just take, and Pep might look at last night and go, energy. He sniffs out goals. Maybe he will. I guess we'll wait and see what happens. And he was playing that position. That's why I gave him an 8.5. Yeah, that's no. I'm just saying. But that's like saying, well, Zinchenko's not in his natural position either. And many others aren't. I mean, Phil Foden's not really a left winger, is he? But he might go on to become a left winger. Looking at his pace last night, but I thought he's a young kid. Let's not put too much on his shoulders. But hey, you can't complain. That's 2 goals in 2 games in Champions League. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Torres, what did Sam Buczelski say? More encouraging signs from the young man, expected to fill Leroy Sané's boots. His pace gave the Marseille defence problems from an unexpected role as a central forward, and timed his run perfectly for his goal and gave him a 7. So let me see what we got. 8, 7.5. Right, I'm going to give him a 7.5. Looking at a lot of 7.5s and 8s, so we'll go for the average, which is 7.5. So good score, good game for last night. And like I said, I'm really excited about Torres. But yeah, let's not go. I'll put too much pressure on. He's still only a young kid, just like this fella. And that is Phil Foden. What were your thoughts on Phil Foden last night? Who I thought had an excellent game. Very, very good. But what were your scores for the Stockport Iniesta? Sean gives Phil Foden an 8. Peter Curry gives him a 9. Animal Lifestyle gives him a 9. Jamie Short, 9. Immense. Stephen Dempster gives him an 8.5. 8.5, good game. Looking forward to his next. Wayne, 2112. Nice one. 8.5. We like that little cartoon. 8. He had a very good game. Scott Williams, an 8.5. Good, yeah. Dudley Lewis, 8.5. Mark the Blue, 9. The new Merlin. He's looking very exciting, I must admit. I'm giving Phil a 9, and I think there's even... Oh, Blue Heart, without a shadow of a doubt, there is so much more to come. This is nothing yet. He's not going to be 21 until... When is it? May, his birthday, I think. You know, Pep's timed his progression, and I think, you know, we need to give Pep some credit. He's timed his progression perfectly. And I think this season was said is going to be his season when he knew that, you know, David Silva was leaving. This is going to be his time to shine. And I think he's going to potentially, if it's not Kevin De Bruyne, be our player of the season this year. I really do. I've got that much high hopes for him because he is absolutely incredible. Man of the match, 9, full of energy yesterday. 9, superb, says Chris Baker. Leonard and Andy Phil has to perform because he does, but then he has to play consistency also, Leonard. Foden, 8, very good, and I was pleasantly surprised by his wing play. Blue Heart, I'll get him a card. And okay. Well, that's a good point, Leonard. Phil, he does have to perform consistently. I think we'll always give him, and this is the thing, we'll always give him a little tiny fraction of leeway because he's local lad, and I think we'll also give him a tiny bit of fraction leeway because also he's only 20. But he rarely disappoints when he plays. He rarely disappoints, whether that's starting or coming on. And I think last night was his 80th or 88th game he's played for City. All right, not all starts, but God, what a future he's got in front of him. Scott Williams, great shout, Andy, about how Pepper's looked after. I agree. I mean, I've said it all along when people have been shouting and screaming about him. And Martin said, and this is joking, bit banter with Martin, saying, no, he should go on loan. He's not going to get game time. And, you know, I said, look, you know, Pep's took young kids at Barcelona, at Bayern. Look what he did with Kimmich and other players. And look what he did at Barcelona with the young kids. He knows when they're right. And people last year were getting frustrated. Foden needs to play, he must play. Pep will know when he's ready. He sees him every day in training. He'll speak to him all the time. He'll know when he's right. And I think everything was set up for when David Silva left this year. And probably, even though I'd like David Silva here, it's probably the best thing that's happened for Phil Foden. So I really do think we'll see him shine this year. And I think he'll do well for England. I really do. But yeah, not that I'm asked about England, but I mean, I think he will. London, one thing that counts is his heights at City. Yeah, good shout. He has no signs of sitting back on his laurels. No, he doesn't. What about Delap? What about him? What same thing, mate? I mean, Delap's a young kid. He's only 17. You know, when Delap's ready, Delap will play. Same thing. When Pep sees he's ready and when he's needed, you know, is Delap better than Gabby Jesus and Sergio right now? No. Will he be better than those two next season? Probably not. So it's all about learning the game. You know, it's one thing having brilliant EDS games and things like that. Step up to Premier League level from EDS. It's not even like stepping up from EDS to League One or Championship level. It's a massive jump, huge jump. So Pep will introduce Delap in cup competition. Pretty much, he wouldn't be surprised if he does the same thing as he did with Foden. If Pep sees the consistency in training and sees the hunger and the desire and the commitment that Foden has obviously shown, hence why Pep said he's not sending him on loan, he's keeping him around all the great players he's been managed to train around. And if Delap has that quality around senior players, not playing in the EDS, because, you know, there have been far more players in EDS level that have scored 10 times more goals. You know, go back to Paul Molden and things like that in the old days of City. Far more players every year score far more goals. But it's about, can you be around the squad? Can you be around that first team squad and still impress and still, you know, capture and ingrain what Pep wants out of the training sessions quickly? Do you get it? Because he might be great in EDS level. trying to get, Pep's system, he might pick it up really quickly, in which case it's great. It might not. He might struggle around the first team. But one thing for certain, he is he's very exciting, but he is only a baby. He's only a baby. And Pep will monitor his progress. And whatever happens will happen. It'll be down to him. Just like it was with Foden. It was down to Foden to be where he is now, under arguably the greatest manager in world football. So Delap's got a bright future if he continues his progress under Pep. Club saved hundreds of millions. Delap can't play in the Champions League. No, he can't. I think it was a generic question about Delap. I just got here how we give him Ferran a 7.5. Not me. It's what everybody else gave him. Pep feathers the youngsters in there. There is no rush. Absolutely. Of course he does. He watches them. But remember, we're seeing highlights of EDS clips and we're seeing this. And he must be in the team. We've got no striker. Pep's already had these kids around the first team squad. He took a load of kids out last night to Marseille, give them the experience, give them a taste of what it's like, give them a taste of what it's like going away training, going, match experience. He sees them day in, day out. He probably speaks to them so much over the week when they're around the squad, and the other players will be speaking. He'll know exactly what level they're at. He's managed some of the best players in world football, arguably the best player ever in Lionel Messi. So he's seen loads of kids come through. He'll know where they're at and their progression level. You have to trust the manager. You have to trust him with that. Not somebody who just watches an EDS game on YouTube and go, right, you look at him, he scored 20-odd goals, get him in, we haven't got a striker. It doesn't work that way. It just simply doesn't. I forgot, did I end up giving Foden? Did I give Foden? No, I haven't given Foden score yet. But I'm going to give him, from your scores here, not quite a 9, because they weren't all 9s, but I'm going to give Foden an 8.5. Simon Buczelski says, from the left, Foden led the team's pressing as he haired after every white shirt whenever they had the ball. His energy felt key to setting the pace of the team, and there were also some exquisite touches, and gave him an 8. We've got some subs. Like normally I do say 20 minutes. Otherwise, I'm not going to go through subs. I mean, we've got I'll tell you what. I'll do Cancelo only because he was 22 minutes, so he came on the 68th minute. All right, a little bit longer with the extra time. So we'll do Cancelo, but 77 minutes. So we're talking 13, 14 minutes for the likes of Stones and Bernardo. So can't really score them. But Cancelo had, let's say, 20-odd minutes. So I think we should score him anyway. Epic, do you think Pep will be here for long enough to develop that? Well, I'm hoping so. I don't know. Nobody knows. Great performance by all standards. I love the aggression, intensity, and hunger from the entire team, but can they be psyched to play with this actually every game? Well, I mean, mate, you can't just turn it on and turn it off. I don't think it's anything to do psychologically. I think it's almost like saying Pep and the players are not really bothered about winning the Premier League or winning a cup competition. Of course they're psyched. Sometimes they're tired. Sometimes they're knackered. Sometimes they're carrying niggles. And we know that we've got a lot of injuries at the moment. So some players are probably still playing right now. Wouldn't surprise me if the likes of Walker is playing with a niggle or two. And the likes of a Rodri, maybe Sterling are playing with a niggle or two in some of the games. We just can't swap the team. We haven't got 24 top-class players that we can just rotate. Or let's say 22 plus a couple of subs. We haven't got it at the moment. We simply haven't. So we're sort of started the season bit by bit. No pre-season and everything else. So it'll come. It will definitely come. And I think we saw the first signs of it coming last night with that energy levels. Because the thing is, you can't go to Marseille, and this is what Pep will be thinking and saying to the players for Sheffield United game. You can't go to Marseille and put in an energy performance like that and then not do it at Sheffield United. You can't. There's no excuses for it. Tonight is Wednesday. They were off today, so you got Thursday, Friday before the game. So there's no 3 days. Play Tuesday, play Saturday. So there's no excuses to put in a brilliant performance energy-wise last night and then not turn up Sheffield United. So, but interesting point, interesting question. Cancelo, Sean says a 4. Leonard not applicable. Chris 6.5. Lascelles Blur 7. Cancelo a 6. Scott 6. Mingy Wong a 5. Cancelo a 6. It's impossible to judge performance of players with such a weak team. Let's be serious. I don't know what you're on about, mate. But that's like turning around and saying, well, at the end of the day, this is a team that are fourth in League One. That's like saying, well, if we beat somebody 4-0, let's say we beat Chelsea 4-0, let's say we beat Sheffield United 4-0 on Saturday, pointless, isn't it? It's really pointless. Judging them. Cancelo's grown quite a bit since last season for me. I'll give him a 6.5. Mara 0, along with Stowe. Well, we're not really doing them. Peter Curry 6.5. We just need to build on our confidence. I agree. What are you banging on about, Sammy? We're judging them on last night's performance. I know. One of those, isn't he? Just coming on to throw a grenade in from somewhere. He's not been on the channel for God knows how long. I think somebody might have sent him. We should be playing this week every week. We should be playing like this every week in the Premier League. How can't we replicate that? Well, like I said, Mingy Wong, sometimes you can't always do it, mate. Otherwise, if we played like that every week, we'd be unbeaten every season. We'd win every single trophy we're in for. That's not football. It's not real life. And when you've got a load of injuries and people coming back from COVID and I've had no real rest and things like that, energy levels zap. It's like saying to you, well, you go to work 7 days a week and, for the next 6 months, 8 months, see whether you perform at the optimum level every single day. Just sometimes doesn't happen, mate. And sometimes other teams are just better on the day. You've got to face it. We're not in a crap league. We're in the strongest league in the world, Premier League, and teams are at it and up for it and really want to win. And so, sometimes you've got to just hold your hands up sometimes and go like Leicester. There were mistakes in that bowl, but Leicester were just a better team. They had the perfect tactics on the day and they just played well. So it's one of those. 8th for the incredible pass to KDB before his second assist. I'm talking about Cancelo, mate. Platinum, are you Martin in disguise? Ikram, if Pep doesn't start the lap of the showing out, Torres should have start in the middle, better finish at the Sterling. Ikram, this is the thing. Ikram. Oh, Ikram, please. This is the thing. This is the thing. Torres has scored 2 goals in the Champions League. Now he's suddenly a far better finisher than somebody who got 31 goals last season for Manchester City. Anyway, there you go. Let's just give Cancelo a 6. Seeing as though he came on, just give him a score so we can move on. Anyway, let's score the manager, Pep. What are your thoughts? Blue Art says, touch wood, we're getting there and the injuries are fingers crossed fading. Come on, Sergio. Yeah, well, let's hope so. You know what City's going to be like this season, don't you? We'll get Sergio and Gabby back. And then Diaz and Laporte will get injured again or something like that. You can just see it. You can just see it happening. But let's hope, fingers crossed, hope it doesn't. Pep, what were your thoughts on his system last night? What were your thoughts of his Rapido? Got on to him last night, non-stop. And he made a nice change watching it without any of that stupid bloody crowd noise. Because listening to you heard Raheem Sterling with the linesman and Pep non-stop and chatting. And it was great to listen to. Even though it's still not football for me without fans, but it is what it is. 8 for making the pitch bigger. Yeah, he definitely did that last night. Pushing Foden. And definitely Raz wider really helps, and then getting Walker overlapping as well. Thought Pep got it spot on last night, and I think he wants a bit of credit since how everyone's been slagging him off for so long. 9, Chris Baker, 9 for Pep, got the team spot on. I'm sending Pep a Valentine's card with 8 on it. What about you, Chris? Neil, 7.5, better lineup, helped by returning players, good use of the 5 sub rule. Scott William 8, encouraged by using wingers in their correct position, but the Mahrez comment after the game makes me think he hasn't completely learned. I prefer the gingers. Sean gives Pep a 10. Peter Curry a 9. Right, Pep gets a 9. Got it spot on last night, even though, like I said, right at the beginning of the vlog, don't think Marseille played particularly well. Really expected a bit more from them, but you can only beat what's in front of you, and I thought City basically passed them off the pitch. I love the guy being angry and upset about those young and new fans getting on Pep's back. Well, here's what it is. Here's what it is, mate. We'll always get it. But, if Pep does something wrong, he deserves criticism. He deserves critique. There's nothing wrong with that. But some of the moaning and whining and whinging and, he needs to go and all that. Oh, God, come on, please. Prime example. 5 because he should have played like this against Lyon. So judging last night on something that happened months ago on another game. This guy coping talk FCB. Don't know. Any ideas? No idea. Maybe you can work that one out. I meant as false 9, Sterling is one of the best wingers in the world, but in the false 9 role, he isn't good. Scored a lot of goals from the false 9, Ikram. So, like I said, he didn't get all 31 goals last season from just the left wing. He was playing as a false 9 last season as well. So, guys, good result last night, 3-0. Give the boys a lot of confidence. And it was just good to see energy. And I think certainly the likes of Foden and Torres brought that energy last night, in my opinion. And by the sounds of what you're saying, you agree as well. What will happen against Sheffield United at the weekend? We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see today. Obviously, I think they've got a day off today, but we'll wait and see. Were there any niggles? This thing we don't always see. Were there any niggles from last night? Jesus, if Kevin De Bruyne didn't wake up this morning with really, really sore ankles and a sore foot or two, I'd be very surprised because I bet he's black and blue around his ankles and his feet for some of those tackles last night. So, again, little things like that. He might have woken up this morning with swollen foot, swollen ankles, in a lot of pain. So, we'll wait and see what happens for Saturday. But just looks like that corner is just turning slightly, which is great. That's all we can ask for. Leonard, Andy, your thought if Pep don't win... Andy, your thought if Pep don't win, City neither... Andy, your thought if Pep don't win City, neither Premier... You mean if City don't win the Premier League or the Champions League, my thought on Pep? Difficult question, really. It's one of those I could say, well, if we were to win the FA Cup and the League Cup and we got to the semi-final or the final and we came within sort of 8 points of whoever wins the Premier League, would it be a bad season? No, it's another 2 trophies. I've always said it, the Champions League for me, I'm not bothered. I'm really, really not bothered. I'd like us to win it solely just to get that, thing off your shoulder and all the opposition fans. But for me, I don't know. For me, I'm not bothered. I'm really, really not bothered. Let's face it. This competition will be... People have forgotten about the European Cup now. Unless you were a United or a Liverpool, maybe. People have generally forgotten about the European Cup, all those, big, big games going back to the 60s and 70s and things like that. Because it's all about Champions League now. Well, in a few years' time, the Champions League will be null and void. There'll be no such thing as a Champions League. It'll be a Super League competition. It'll be something else. And then does that mean everybody, all this Champions League stuff, it'll be forgotten about in 10 years' time? Nobody will be really thinking much of it. So And unless it's for me, it's always if it's the European Cup and it is the winner of each league plays each other. One game, not this home and away crap. One game you play, knockout competition, and the winner takes it all. They are the best in Europe. That's it. End of story. Not this group stage. And I tell you something now. I read an article this morning which was quite interesting, and it was Martin Samuel was writing a match report on last night's game, and he was talking about how he was disappointed in Marseille as well, and the fact that it was one of those games that we are seeing more and more and more in Europe in Champions League. Teams just not bothering turning up, and other teams dominating and rolling them over and things like that. And he went, if you think this is bad now, wait until they add all the extra teams to the Champions League, which is coming up soon. And we're getting all these extra 20 odd teams that are going to be in it. You're going to see more and more and more of this type of spectacle. Teams that are nowhere near good enough to be in the Champions League, nowhere near good enough to be in the Champions League, or just don't turn up against bigger teams because they're frightened of getting battered. And I totally agree with him. Champions League is not for me. It just isn't. And like I said, I want us to win every single competition we're in, but I'm not really bothered. Premier League is for me always the bread and butter. Always, always, always is. So I'm not fussed. I won't be bothered. You know what? If we got knocked out of the group stages, I'd probably go, should have got further. Only for the financial reasons why. And a bit of prestige for the owner and things like that. But other than that, I'm not fussed about it. I'm really not bothered about it. I'd much rather win the Premier League. So if you said to me, your question was, Leonard, I think if I remember rightly, if it was, if we didn't win the Premier League and or the Champions League this season, is it a failure? For me, if we were to win the FA Cup and the League Cup, no. Another two trophies. But if we didn't win any of them, yeah, I think it would be a massive failure. But I think this season is a weird one. It's a very, very strange season. I've said it right before it started. I said this is going to be a weird season. And we've seen it already, 6 games in. The results are odd, very odd. I don't think it'll continue this way. I think it'll even itself out by Christmas time. But I think it's gonna make for a great entertaining season, which I think is good sometimes. Mix it up a little bit. You don't just want the same old teams winning it every year. We do, but for the neutral. Andy, why don't you create membership on the channel? Yeah, we are, mate. We've got the. It's my fault. It's totally my fault. We've got the Patreon and things to set up. I've just been, since sort of lockdowns now, well, we're opening back up for business and things like that. I've just been maxed out with everything's just become a bit crazy at the moment. So I've not had time. It takes quite a bit of time to set up. And I've just been waylaid and with other stuff, and it's my fault. It's not the guy's fault. I should have set this up, and it's been my task to do, and I haven't done it because I've had to focus on other areas, certainly like my business and things like that. So we will get something set up. I promise you, we will do it. It's not just a simple click, 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 and it's done. Otherwise we'd have done it by now. There's lots of other stuff that you arrange for it. So I promise. Good idea though, but we will get something set up. I promise. Cheers, Andy. Give Stanley a tummy rub from me. I've not got him yet, mate. Might have to call you Ollie from now on. Great stream. Take care. I haven't got him, buddy. Don't get him till I come back from going overseas. So it sounds like we're all up for the Sheffield game. So come on, Blues. Absolutely. We are up for it. Aguero could return in time for international break. Could be. City till we die together. Peter Curry says, would rather win the FA Cup and Carroll Cup. UEFA can kiss my backside. I'm with you on that one. Sean Fogarty, thank you very much, buddy. You haven't told me. Have you read your book yet? Did you like it? It'll be called the UEFA Top Table League. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Heard we're 25-1 to win the Champions League, which is an outsider. No, that's not right. No way. No way. I was listening to something on the radio this morning. I think City are, the second favourites. If I remember right, we're favourites. I think we're 13 to 10 favourites for the Premier League, And I think we were, I can't remember, I think we were 4-1, I think it was, or 6-1 for the Champions League. We're still right up there. I want to win the Champions League because I'm fed up with taking crap. Yeah, that's the only reason. But, you know, it's one of those, it's a bit of a, I'm with you. I am with you, Stephen. But I think it's a bit of a crap sort of thing to go, oh, I just want it because I'm the same. I only want to win it to get rid of all the garbage that Liverpool and United fans say. But other than that, I mean, it's a pretty poor excuse to win it. I probably more want to win it for the owner. I'll be honest with you, because we know, you know, they've invested heavily in the club, and it does spread the word around the world. And the profile of the club. So I'd like it for the owner. For me, I'm not asked one way or the other, but it is what it is. The team that wins the league this season might just be the one with the fewest injuries. Very good point. Thank you, Andy and Co. Great chat as always. Thank you, Leonard. If Pep doesn't win the Premier League and Champions League this season, he must be sacked. Don't talk. That is the most ridiculous statement of the night. If Pep doesn't win the Premier League and the Champions League this season, he must be sacked. Barking mad. You finished the book. Good, mate. I hope you enjoyed it. But anyway, there you go. I'll leave it. I'll go on. I'll give him a bit of more for his Anna TV, Africa News Arena TV. If Pep doesn't win the Premier League and the Champions League this season, he must be sacked. There you go. Says it all. But anyway, guys, this is Andy from mcfcfantv. Thank you for coming on and giving us all your player ratings. Do appreciate it, as always. Don't forget, if you haven't already, which I'm sure you've probably seen all the videos, we keep pushing. We're going to push them for another week for Ransom Books. Brilliant series. Sean Fogarty's read the book, and I hope he really enjoyed it. There you go. We are 4-1 joint favourites for the Champions League. Yeah, I thought I heard it this morning. Cheers and great shows evening. Cheers, Chris, and all the lads contributing. Thank you, Blue Out, for coming on and all your very good comments. Andy, thank you for a great show. I struggle with mental health, and this show has helped me through the last few months. Puts a smile on my face. Great opinions. Thank you always. Andy Blue Moon, that's what it's all about, buddy. That's what it's all about. And if we can just help that little tiny bit, then it makes us feel better. It's all the more worthwhile us doing it for that type of stuff. So take care, mate. Keep safe, whatever you're doing. Cheers, Blues. Good one. Have a good one. You too, Scott. Thanks. Cheers, Andy. You're a great contributor. Thanks for your support. He is. Thanks, everybody, and Andy. Yeah. As usual, the best City channel on YouTube by a long way. Thank you, Stephen. We don't always agree, but God, it'd be boring if everybody agreed on everything, wouldn't it? Thank you. You're more than welcome, Andy. Take care, Blue Heart. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, thank you, everybody. As usual, you've all been absolutely brilliant, and we really do appreciate it. Now, tomorrow, I'll say the books. Don't forget, if you we have got the code up and running now. So if you go on Ransom Books, and you can, oh God, if I can spell it, 1 minute, I need to put an A in there. If you go on Ransom Books and look at the Sterling, well, there's a full range. Next, I think, early 2021, there's going to be Bernardo Silva and Riyad Mahrez, and then there's loads of others like Sancho and all sorts of people on there. If you know anybody who, a young person who likes reading, or somebody who struggles to read, or you want them to get into reading, and maybe sports in football in particular is something that they're interested in, or somebody who has reading difficulties, go over and check out the books. They're $6.99, but you can get 10% off if you put in the code MCFTV10 on there. And you're going out and supporting them. They're doing a wonderful job trying to get people out there reading more and try and up the literacy rates in this country, and I think it's a fantastic idea. So we're doing everything we can to try and help them out. I have got another book which I am going to, I did say I was going to do something to give it away. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I have put some stuff on Twitter. I would like it to go to somebody who would really use it for the right reasons, not just winning a prize and like, oh yeah, I've read it. And so if you know anybody, I'm not going to just say first person who emails me, but if you know anyone in particular that you think, look, my nephew or my niece or somebody I know struggles reading or got dyslexia or learning difficulties or whatever it might be, and you really think that that would be useful. I can't promise you that you'll get the book, but at least send me an email. I would much rather. Um, oh, 1 second. I would much rather. I'd much rather to give it to someone else rather than put it in a prize and then send it to somebody and they go, "Oh yeah, I read this and I read that. I don't really need a Sterling book for 7 to 14-year-olds." So I'd rather give it to somebody who could really use it, read it, get something from it, and then maybe I'll tell you what, maybe we could do a bit of a book club swap around or something like that. I can send you a an envelope, self-addressed envelope. You can send it back to me, and if somebody else wants it, we can pass it on and share it around that way. If you can't afford maybe in this current climate to purchase it, but like I said, it's £6.99. You get 10% off it as well, and so maybe we'll do something with it. I don't know, but send me an email if you are interested. What else have we got? Don't forget, it's Blue Moon on Saturday for Halloween. Come on, City. Yeah, I'm dyslexic. I'm interested in these books. Okay, Cal, maybe send me an email, buddy. Cal, once my lad's ready, I will send you. There you go. So I got one. I bought one for Chris and for Martin's lad as well. So maybe when they finished it, their books, maybe we can swap them over and do a bit of a book club and swap it around. And is there any other? No, they're not just Cal. They're not City books, mate. At the moment, there's only Sterling in the series. But if you watch the video before this video, you'll see in there there's a load of players. There's all sorts of players. There's Mbappe. I've not even got it with me. But there's Mbappe. There's Rashford. There's Sterling. There's Gnabry. There's Lewandowski. And there's some others, and then there's new ones with Sancho and Joao Felix, Bernardo Silva, and Riyad Mahrez, and a couple of others are coming out early. So I think there's about six or seven at the moment, and then there's going to be another 6, I think, coming early 2021. Watch the video, there is a video on the channel that I did solely about the books, and in there I'll show you them all. So go over and watch that, mate. There you go. So Chris will send that to you, mate. Funny enough, Chris, it was about his family and his growing up in France, and then there was 3 pages about his hair and clothing style. You need a haircut, mate. Who are you talking to? Me? I need a haircut, or Cal. They think there needs to be a KDB, but something Harry Connings is the author, so maybe I'll send Daisy an email saying, come on, he has to do one about KDB, surely, considering maybe he's working on it right now. But tomorrow night, if you want to join us, probably be, I'm not guaranteed what time, but it'll probably be around about 9:30. I've just been speaking to Sharon Latham, a friend of mine who was the ex-Manchester City photographer, official photographer. And you'll have seen Shaz, on all of the videos and everything else, and seen her on the documentaries talk about 93-20 moment and all, where she was. And she left a couple of years ago, but she's got some wonderful stories. If you haven't seen it, a couple of years ago, I sat down in Manchester with Sharon over a couple of days, and we sat down and spoke about all sort of her favourite players and friends who keep in touch. She's very good friends with Joe Hart. She still keeps in touch with Dzeko and Kolarov and people like that, and Micah Richards. So tomorrow night, she said she's going to come on and have a chat with me, and we're going to talk all about Man City. We're going to talk about her projects and what she's doing now. Now she's out of football. And if you don't know and don't follow her on Twitter, you'll know that she is the official photographer for Noel Gallagher and High Flying Birds, and she does not just him, but she goes and photographs the BAFTAs, the Grammys, the Oscars, and everything else like that. So it should be a really, really interesting chat. with her. And of course, we'll talk about Manchester City, we'll talk about Joe Hart, we'll talk about Kolarov and Dzeko and what are they up to now, and is she still in touch with them, and Mario and everything else. So if you've got a question, then please, Super Chats will be available, and we'd love some of your questions to come in. So, but your questions, you need to send me an email with your questions. I might not be able to read all of them and ask her all of them because we've got an hour or so. But send us an email to mcfcfantv@gmail.com. And if you've got a specific question that you want to ask Sharon Latham, and then send me an email. I can't wait because she's absolutely brilliant. She's a beautiful, beautiful person, very funny, full of life, full of energy, and I can't wait. A really, really a good empty seat guest in Sharon. No, mate, she's coming on with me tomorrow. She can't make that. We're full up for the next couple of weeks on the Empty Seat Show. Some great guests coming on. So I'm going to, and I had to take this one because I really like her. She's just a brilliant, brilliant person to chat to. So I'm gonna nab this one. Yeah, she's mine. Join me tomorrow night. Fingers crossed she can make it because I know she's doing a bit of babysitting for her grandchildren. So hopefully she can make it. So if it goes ahead, which hopefully it will, it'll be around about 9:30ish. So it'll be a little bit later. But come and join us. Don't forget, if you've got a question for Sharon, send me an email, mcfcfantv@gmail.com, and I'll try and ask her the question if I get the time. But anyway, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. Don't forget, keep subscribers going. We're stalling at the moment. We're nearly at 15,200. We want to get to 20k is our next our target. So, let's say 16k. Let's go up to 16k at least. But we really do appreciate your support. Don't forget, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and make sure whatever you do that your notifications are set to public, not private. That way you'll be notified. But take care. Have a wonderful evening. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be back doing more things on Friday night, Saturday, you name it. And Sheffield United up next. Great win last night, 3-0. Couldn't ask for much more. Take care, and we'll see you soon.